Yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Iron Angel, and I'm back with another reaction video here. Oh, this was a little different. I remember I said in a previous reaction video that there was a basketball subject I wanted to touch on, and it's like my reaction to what Stephen A. did here, um, regarding Russell Westbrook. Now, before I even get into that video, I do want to say this because there's a lot of people who are soft in the ears who think people are hating when they're just stating facts. I'm not. I'm never 100% with Stephen A. with everything he says, but some points he make are great points. There are other points where it's like, well, that's his opinion, and then there's other points where it's like, come on, Stephen A. Really, are you saying that just for ratings? But when it comes to this subject here, I roll with this because this is something I was saying before when it comes to Russell Westbrook. I love Russell Westbrook's game. The only thing I have that's a downfall about him is that he lets his emotions get in the way when it's playoff time, and that his 3 point shot hasn't gotten better. I don't understand how you a guard in this era. I will say in this era because in the past era there wasn't every guard wasn't a 3 point shooter, but in this era you're not getting better with threes. That was the only thing I had a problem with Russell Westbrook and his emotions sometimes. But he gives everything he gives 100%. He's on the court putting up triple doubles, nice numbers, so on and so forth. But he does it in the regular season. This is something that always bothered me because, unless I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. Are you joining the NBA to win a championship? I thought that's what you're in the NBA for. And I remember there was a video that Stephen A. said, these triple doubles is nothing new. Like he wants to see a ring. And I didn't see a problem with that. And I think that's really the base of what he was talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was like a week or two ago. And he got so much flack from it, from people. Even his like Russell Westbrook's wife was defending Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook's getting on there on talking to reporters saying I'm a champion in life. And personally, that's cool that you're a champion in life. You're helping people outside of basketball. Whatever you're doing outside of basketball is cool. But we're talking basketball. Isaiah Thomas, he said something about this too after Russell Westbrook was defending himself and his wife was defending him. Isaiah Thomas, the legend, said, unfortunately, when you're in the NBA, you're here to win. And that's for any sport. Why else are you here? You're here just to get a check? I mean, ain't nothing wrong with getting your money, get your paper, but you're here to win. And when you have so many years of failing in the playoffs, the triple doubles start to get, it's cool to see, but it starts to get dry. It's like, I remember somebody said this about Paul George because people think I hate Paul George. No, I actually love Paul George. I'm not going to be blind, though, to the fact that he looks good in the regular season. Then when the playoffs start, he doesn't show up when it's time to show up. Don't give me numbers. I'm talking about when it's time to show up, you don't show up. You hit the side of the backboard. That's my thing with Paul George. And it's not my fault he calls himself playoff P. That's on him. When you call yourself that, people are going to be looking at you. That's just what I said. But back to Russell Westbrook, I agree with Stephen A. It's like, okay, like he had a great night. I forgot what he played against Indiana. Had a great night. I saw it and I was just like, that's cool. That's cool. That was it. That's all he got from me because at the end of the day, is he going to bring that in the playoffs? Is he going to bring that in the playoffs, or is it going to be another airball season on 3 point line when the playoffs start? His emotions get over him. Think about this. And this is something I remember I told a friend, and I was so hoping it didn't happen. I was praying that it did not happen. I told a friend, I'm like, please don't let Westbrook lose to the team he just left. Last year in the bubble when he left OKC and went with Houston, and they was going against each other, and they had to go to 7 games. Yes, Chris Paul's on that team, but the fact that, excuse me, you left to go to a better situation and you still had to go to 7 games, and that game was close from my remembrance with your old team. That says something about your game. It's like when you go to a better situation, you should have better how should I say it, results. If you go against your old team, you should show them like, look, I was the man. Not, oh wow, Russell Westbrook could actually not only he left the team and they actually could take him out the playoffs. His own team, that would have been a huge bump in his career. Chris Paul or not. That was crazy. And I was so glad when he made it to the next round. I was rooting for Chris Paul too because I think he got a lot of flack for nothing when he was in Houston. But it was like, who should I go for, Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook? Chris Paul, he's going to get out of this a little easier because he took that team to the playoffs and went 7 games with Houston. Russell Westbrook would have gotten a lot of flack if he lost. And then he went to go up against the Lakers, and y'all saw it. LeBron's laughing at him. He's getting emotional, talking to some guy I think it was Rondo's brother or something, on the bench because he's performing well. He had one game where he did good, and like I said, he let his emotion get in the way. All this, and nobody at this point now in Russell Westbrook's career, nobody's scared of that. Maybe that gets him going. I hope, but I remember there was a scene that it was last year. He was with Houston, and Russell Westbrook was yelling at the Warriors bench, and Klay Thompson, who's injured, looked at him with just like and you saw him. He said, "What you mad for, bro?" Nobody cared about his emotion. And I think that's what it is. It's time for Westbrook to show that he can at least take your team to the finals. Because Allen Iverson, for example, didn't win a championship. But he took that trash 76ers team. Yes, that team was garbage. For those who are fresh in basketball, research. He at least took them to the finals and won at least one game in the finals against a Titan Lakers team. That Lakers team was no joke. No joke. And he still won one game with that garbage 76ers team. Offensively embarrassing. So, yeah, that's what people are looking for in Russell Westbrook. But something Stephen A. did here, I know I talked for a while, but something Stephen A. did here, I understand. Let's check this out, then I'll explain in a minute.
How impressive is Westbrook's resume?
I've had enough. I can't take it no more. I've had enough. Excuse me, I'm getting up.
I understand why he's doing this.
Let's on the board. Let's go.
Because
follow me. Come follow me, everybody. Follow me.
You can't critique someone without hating for some reason this decade.
Yeah. I mean, help me out here. Can we splash this on the board? But I want to make sure that we have on the board all the great things about Russell Westbrook. Can I get it, please?
Yeah, since he said I'm a champion in life.
Because I want to make sure.
He is on one this morning, America.
Hold on, Molly. Stay with me. Kendrick Perkins, are you watching?
Yes, please.
Did I miss anything? Fantastic basketball player, first ballot Hall of Famer. Did I touch that, Max?
Yeah.
All right, fashion icon. We know Russell Westbrook. Step out. He go fashion weeks in Paris and all that stuff. All right, tremendous husband. The wife, beautiful wife. Got the wife speaking up.
Listen to the music in the background, yo.
I got to go LeBron James on it. Remember, I had to do this with LeBron James. That's what Russell Westbrook got.
Oh,
man.
man.
Let me make sure I get that out. Terrific father, because we all know that he's a wonderful man and he cares about the community.
As soon as he's done with the list, I'm gonna stop the video for a second.
Man is a fabulous person, an incredible role model. Kendrick Perkins, did I leave anything out? Philanthropist. We all know how charitable he is. All right, he's documented that. All right, okay. Impactful activist. We saw what happened. With the riots, the protests, and everything. We saw Russell Westbrook.
Great adjectives by you.
Excuse me. Historic statistical phenomenon.
Excuse me.
Mr. Triple Double. Did I bring it up? Did I say it? And
all that fast.
Obviously, true patriot. Did I miss anything, Max?
No lies detected.
Molly, did I miss anything?
No, you covered it.
Is that all? Is there a single insult?
That's why I'm not mad at him for doing that. It's for all those. I think a lot of it is always those who don't win. That's how I look at it. For the most part, it's those who win. And by the way, I'm speaking on a guy whose favorite player is Tracy McGrady. And I even said he failed all the numbers he put up in the regular season. Great numbers. When I played basketball, I copied my game from him. He failed because he didn't get to he didn't win a championship, or at least have an Allen Iverson moment and get there. And I know injuries was a factor with Tracy McGrady, but he had moments where he could have been there. He was up 3-1 against the Pistons, and the Pistons came back. He had Yao Ming leaves at Houston. I can't remember that whole season, but he had moments of getting to the finals and never did. That's something that I always hold on him. Still my favorite player, but I always hold on to that. And thank God he's not soft. He even went on TV and said, I failed because I didn't get the ring. He said that, T-Mac. But he's still a Hall of Famer, still a great player. Like when people talk about Paul George, he's a great regular season player. Russell Westbrook, he's a good stat number player. He's a good regular season player and all this stuff. But what are you going to do to get me that ring? If I was the owner of a team, I need a ring. I paid you this much to get a ring, not to sit here and look cute for the regular season. That's when people get on me like, oh, look what Paul George did. I said, yeah, I hope I see it in the playoffs. And the thing is, I hope, because I want Paul George to win a ring. I want Russell Westbrook to win a ring, so on and so forth. I want him to win a ring, but you got to be honest. I'm honest with my favorite player. So what do you think I'm going to do with these guys? And Stephen A was just being honest. The triple doubles for Russell Westbrook is nothing. Now, I'm not saying it's just easy. Everybody can do it. But what I'm saying is you've done that. Now, because people keep saying him and Oscar Robertson. Didn't Oscar Robertson win a ring too? He was not only Mr. Triple Double, but didn't he win a ring with Kareem? If my memory serves me correctly, he did. So that's the thing that Oscar's always going to have over Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he got triple doubles, but Oscar got ring too. If my memory serves me correctly. If I'm wrong on that, I'll research that later. But I think he got a ring with Kareem. That's just the thing. But let me stop. Let me just keep watching this.
Is there anything that's insulting?
You probably should have something about triple doubles on there.
I said,
Well, he said that already.
Historical statistical phenomenon.
Yeah, get
Did I
triple
cover
double on
everything,
there.
Max?
No,
Did I cover everything?
You got it.
Have I missed anything at all?
Not that I can
I just want to make sure. I don't know. Is he directing like LeBron? Is he producing stuff like LeBron?
Maybe that's in the future.
No, hey, wait a minute. I thought the documentary. You understand? I mean, listen.
It's like you gotta kiss up the players before you can say something.
I'm adding that now.
Okay.
Did I leave anything out? Did I mention yesterday that Allen Iverson, he's Allen Iverson's favorite player? Did I mention that?
You did.
Did I leave anything out?
I didn't know
KP,
that.
Before I go on, did I leave anything out, KP?
No, you did.
I didn't leave anything
Mamba
out.
mentality.
Yeah.
Mamba mentality.
Stupid. He's stupid.
Mamba
No.
Well, I wouldn't say Mamba Sita.
Mamba.
Yeah. Let's not make it feminine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're working on
Molly
your
got him. Molly got him. I'm about to say that was a good. I was like Mama Sita.
Did I miss anything?
No,
Did I
you
miss
got it.
anything?
No.
I think you got it.
What the hell does that have to do with the fact that you were 13 games under 500? Now it's down to 5. You won 3 of your last 5. You won 11 of your last 13. You're trying to go for the playoffs. More power to you, my brother. Now he deserves the praise
Because he's
they're
winning. Thank
I'll
you.
be back tomorrow.
That's what it's about, y'all. That's what it's about. At the end of the day, I would say it like this: Russell Westbrook could have never averaged a triple double, but if he had rings or at least a ring, people would still give him the praise, and the praise would be even better because he's a champion. Like he's a Hall of Famer already. Let me put that out there. That's what I'm saying. I don't hate Westbrook. I don't hate anybody, to be real. But I don't hate Paul George, nobody. He's a Hall of Famer. But at the end of the day, it's not just me. Listen to Kobe, rest in peace. Listen to Jordan. Listen to the greats. Larry Bird, they all said it. At the end of the day, it depends on, do you have the ring on you? At least one. At the least. That's what it is. Tracy McGrady, my favorite player, said it too. He says, I put all these great numbers up. I did this. The one failure I had was I didn't win. And he's in the Hall of Fame. Hey, the one guy that Kobe said was hard to guard was T-Mac. But you have to win. All those triple doubles, but he was losing all them games. It was like, okay. And one thing that people have shown, that LeBron has shown, and I'll give LeBron this, was that 2018, I think it was 2018 year, when he played with a terrible Cavs team, he still went to the finals. That's greatness. He didn't win in the finals, but he at least got there. He was winning enough to get there. Was it hard? Heck yeah, it was. But he still got there. Is Westbrook going to do that? I hope. The season ain't over yet, but you can't be calling people haters because they're calling out that you're failing. Triple doubles, but not make. Let's say if the Wizards don't make the playoffs, that's a failed season. I could care less. People are praising you for these triple doubles. It's nice, but a triple double and no playoff appearance, a triple double and no finals appearance. Now it's going to be tough for the Wizards to get to the finals, but at least win to get to the playoffs, because I don't think they get into the finals. I mean, yeah, that'll be a historic thing. You talking about? Westbrook would be on the Mount Rushmore of players, bro. Well, I wouldn't say all that, but he would be up there if he somehow gets to the finals with this team. But Allen Iverson has shown that you can take a bad team to the finals. LeBron has shown you can do that. Players have shown, so it's never impossible. But let me see you win. Because all this other stuff, what you're doing outside of basketball, let me tell you as a basketball fan, I don't care. That's something I talk about when I'm not talking basketball. That's cool for you. and for whoever you're helping. But we're talking about the sport. When we talk about the sport, I'm not thinking about what you're doing outside of that. And LeBron's my favorite player now. I'm not thinking about what LeBron's doing outside of basketball when I'm talking about the sport. When I'm talking about other things, then I will talk about what you're doing. But to say I'm a champion in life, like Russell Westbrook said, I think he said that allegedly earlier. It's like, no, Stephen A. is not hating to point that out. And he had it, so a basketball player had his back to Isaiah Thomas. He's like, yo, at the end of the day, you got to win. At the end of the day, if Westbrook does not make the playoffs, and let me know in the comments, is these triple doubles even impressive anymore? Because you got to at the least, make the playoffs. Just saying. And I'm like that with my favorite players. And they say the same thing.
Not finished. Let me get something out the way right now.
Oh, hold on.
Power to you, my brother. Now he deserves the praise because they're winning. Follow me back to my seat. I'm not finished. Let me get something out the way right now. As Herm Edwards would say, you play to win the games. You
That's
don't
it.
play to accumulate stats.
That's it.
We know
Plain
what
and
you can
simple.
do. We want to see you win because we saw everything else. Okay? That's all. Now that you're winning games, I got nothing to say because that's what I expect from somebody that great. Now let me get to Scott Brooks.
Wait,
If Scott
what about
Brooks is watching, Scott Brooks and I haven't spoken in a while. Got a little sensitive to something that I said a couple of years ago. Really,
What's Scott Brooks
say?
say?
Losing games in Washington, the nation's capital. You know, similar to how they've been losing this year up until recently.
Scott Brooks says Westbrook will go down as second best point guard in NBA history, behind Magic Johnson. We all are open to have our opinions. That just sounds like he's kissing up. Are you? Scott Brooks was in the NBA at one time. He played in the NBA in the tough era, the man's league. Well, I'm not gonna disrespect him now and say it's not a man's league, but y'all know what I mean. The tough era. What is Scott Brooks talking about? Second best point guard, no ring on his belt, but second best. Even if he had a ring, second best. So Curry's just thrown out of there. Damian Lillard, who waved at Westbrook and kicked him out of the playoffs, the game that actually mattered. Damian Lillard showed that he was the best. So that's why people can't tell me Westbrook is better than Lillard. When the time was to show mano a mano who was the man, Lillard kicked him out. So that's why I tell people like, well, Westbrook's better than Lillard. I disagree. Because when it was time to show up, who won? Westbrook, all this other stuff. And you saw what Lillard did. Shot the shot over Paul George, looked at Westbrook and waved at him. So I don't want to hear Westbrook's better than Lillard. And I can name GP, John Stockton, like you. That's a debatable with John Stockton, but all these Isaiah Thomas, sorry, legend, second best. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but that sounds like a lot of kissing up, bro. Or you're just a huge fan of Westbrook, because that's how it is. Even stuff I'm saying now, if you were like people who are huge fans where they see nothing but what they think Westbrook, they're not gonna hear anything me or Steven or anybody has to say. We're not hating, but they're gonna keep saying haters. But second best, would I put him at top 10? Maybe. I would put. I really have to think about that. That's a long time. That's a lot of point guards in this league, but the second best. Oh wow.
Scott Brooks coached in Oklahoma City for 7 years. Kendrick Perkins was there. Okay. Why do I bring up Scott Brooks? The blasphemy that just came out of your mouth.
Thank you.
We got Isaiah Thomas. We got Irvin Magic Johnson. We even have Steph Curry right now. Damian Lillard. Others.
Are we forgetting about them?
Second greatest of all time. You see, Scott Brooks, forget Russell Westbrook for a second. Now I'm going to focus on you. Then why the hell didn't you win with him? You had KD. You had Russ. You had
Harden.
You had
Ibaka.
Reggie Jackson. You had
Harden.
James Harden. Why the hell did you win?
If
Now,
he's
I
the
know you went
second
into LeBron
best.
James, but you had them for more than 1 year.
Yes.
You only got to the finals once.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear that either about the Miami Heat. That was one time. Why didn't he go back? All that talent and he's the second best point guard?
2% of your games while you were in Oklahoma City with that bomb squad. Why wasn't it more than that, Scott Brooks? And now you in the nation's capital, you winning 40. once. You won 62% of your games while you were in Oklahoma City with that bomb squad. Why wasn't it more than that, Scott Brooks? And now you in the
A lot of
nation's
this.
capital,
Where's the action at?
46% of your games. If Russell Westbrook, and we're not questioning his greatness, I'm just being
No,
rhetorical.
not at all.
Being facetious.
Not at all.
I'm not questioning his greatness at all.
Because he's a great player.
I'm saying if Russell Westbrook is all those things, and I believe he is, then am I not entitled to look at you, Scott Brooks, and say, how come you ain't winning more games? Because you got the second
greatest
in the history of the game, according to you.
That's disrespectful to Steph Curry.
Big time. By the way, Hachimura, Bryant, Bertans, and all of these brothers, I like what I'm seeing from the Wizards.
Paul
They got
George,
talent.
once upon a time, Chris Paul.
I
There's
like
another
what I'm
guy.
seeing from the Wizards. I like them. They're a young squad on the come up. I think they've got a lot of potential. How come you ain't winning, Scott Brooks?
All right.
People need to be careful what they say. Because
Thank
at some
you.
point in time, when we're looking at the players, we got coaches out here that are underachieving and getting paid and having tenure and stuff like that. How come we can't hold you accountable then if it's all that?
And I'll say this to defend these players like Russell Westbrook. It's people like Scott Brooks that put them on a pedestal. That's unfair to Westbrook. The second best, it sounds like he's praising him. And he is in his eyes, probably, in Scott Brooks' eyes. But you know what you're doing? You're going to have everybody in the sports community look at Westbrook now. And let's say he doesn't make the playoffs. You know how much flack he's going to get all because you running your mouth saying he's the second best point guard? Second best? That's why I say sometimes it's unfair to players because a lot of people put them on pedestals and they shouldn't. They haven't earned that pedestal yet. They have a second best point guard. So, like I said, Curry's just not in the picture. You put Curry behind Westbrook. And I'm not the biggest Curry fan, but I know facts. That's the thing. I might not be a fan, like a huge fan of certain players, but I do know I'm not going to act stupid. Like Curry's not dominating out here in the point guard position. Like Lillard's not dominating. Like Lillard didn't kick him out of the playoffs. You know, so the second best, bro. Anyway, because I know I've talked for a while, but this is what I like to do. I love talking sports. I don't really have people to talk sports with. So let me know in the comments section everything I said. If you agree, if you disagree, if you're in the middle. Sometimes you could be in the middle. Just be respectful in the comments or I won't respond. But, you know, let me know what you think. Because even Kobe, like I'm seeing a picture of Kobe right now. Rest in peace. I miss that guy. But, yeah, Kobe said it. He said at the end of the day, did you win? Did you win? Get one. Get one. Or at least get to Allen Iverson level. Get to that LeBron level when he was in 2018 with the Cavs. Taking trash teams. That's why I say I don't even give Russell Westbrook any slack now. Yeah, he's on a not that good of a team. And he got to go up against so many Philadelphia, Nets, so on and so forth. But hey, Allen Iverson played against tough teams too. LeBron, and I can probably think of some other teams too. Other players as well. There's no excuse. But at least make the playoffs. And then we could talk about after. Because I will say this. If Westbrook gets to the playoffs and plays his best, he's actually making three-pointers. He is doing everything besides, not letting his emotion get in the way. If he's doing all of that and he loses, then I have nothing to say. You still need to get a ring, but I'm going to be quiet this year because you've given everything. You still need to win, though, because I hold this for any basketball player. Derrick Rose is my favorite point guard. I ain't going to say he's the best, like how Scott Brooks is saying Westbrook is, but he's my favorite point guard to watch. As much as I love Derrick Rose's game, he still needs to win a ring, bro. Plain and simple. I hold him accountable like T-Mac. And people are like, that's fair. Are you kidding me? $200 million, all this money you're getting to join the NBA. It's fair for me to say that. That's what you joined the NBA for, to win. So us who are fans watching, we are eligible as long as we're respectable. Just be respectful. Don't be saying anything, crazy. But we are allowed to say something. That's like me playing video games, right? Y'all watching me playing 2K, for example. And I keep losing. And y'all are getting at me in the comments like, yo, Angel, every time I watch you play, you lose. Every time I watch you play, you lose. And I'm like, well, I helped some kids down the street. You'd be like, what does that have to do with the game? Why are you not winning games? I'm a good husband to my wife. What does that have to do with the game, though? You're still losing. That's what it's like with Westbrook. It's like, just because you say I'm the, allegedly saying I'm a champion in life or whatever you said, it doesn't excuse the fact of your game. You have to win. But I can talk about basketball all day. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next video. See ya.